And we are live, Snaggin Night Live. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Snaggin Night Live. We had to go live over top of Chad just because Brian disrespected us. So here we are. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. We will have, I wish I had it on play right now. But we will have some guests coming up here shortly. We are not out on the water. Where are you going, butterflies? Well, welcome in, butterflies. How you doing? What's going on down here, Sip? Sean has some other things that popped up, so he's going to try to pop in just a minute. Excuse me. We have another couple of guests coming in tonight. So we will bring them up in just a second. Big Wrench Catfishing says, let's go. Get your weight up, F.O.A, baby. Thank you, Big Wrench. Thanks for coming in. Mike Sampson. Sampy, how you doing? The Bulk Experience, Kelly Bullock. Thank you for having us on your show last night. We really appreciate it. We've got 22 awesome people. Thank y'all so much. All right, cool cats. I got you in the well, Jody's down there. So let me get through this real quick. Let's see. Because I'm a nice guy, Big Rich. Because I'm a nice guy. They were talking about the tournament. The tournament is for charity. I wanted to make sure that they got all the information out there so that more everybody that wanted to participate could participate. If it wasn't for that, we would have gone live at 9 o'clock. So I love giving Chad a hard time. Butterflies and Sunshine, thank you for coming in. Hilly Billy Hondo, what's going on? Fishing for Whiskers, Miss Rhonda, good evening. Says howdy, hi, y'all. Dale Hay Slip. Quiet Man Curtis, what's going on? We don't have a skit tonight, Kelly. No skit for tonight. Damn River Boys, how you doing? Nubby's Catfishing says evening, y'all. Real and Virtual Outdoors. Chad said you can go live. Oh, I already went live. I don't have to wait for his permission. Thanks, Chad. Crappie Day Fish on says, hello, good people. Thank y'all so much. Greg Burgess from Louisiana. Hello, Dustin. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, Greg. Thank you for coming in. 922, what's going on? Rob Fox, what's up, all you fine folks from the Buckeye State? Hello. Hello, Rob. Thanks for dropping in. We got Shad Daddy. We are not worried what Chad says. Lance Mukugai, the cool guy, Hawaiian fisherman, says, hello, everyone. What's going on? 155 days till CatCon. I cannot wait. I am so super excited to go to CatCon again this year. I hope everybody else is as well. I think it's code two stands. We'll get you 10% off your tickets if you want to go purchase your. I would personally get the VIP ticket, get you 2 days. And when I'm at the front desk helping check everybody in, it makes it so much easier if you have your VIP pass in hand. But everybody's welcome. We love to see everybody come through those doors. 922, what's going on? Fishing for Whiskers. Jeff Beal, what's up? Donald Long, howdy. Thanks for coming in. Danny Stone Outdoors, listening while rigging rods. Oh, there you go. It's a great thing to do while you're listening. You always got to be ready, right? Howdy, y'all. What's going on? How you doing, Tom? Can't wait to get that back down to the dock at some point. This hopefully this fall when the big fish are biting. Big Bill, aka Blues Clues Destroyer. I've got to pull a stand, and I've got to be neutral in this. I will be hosting the Blues Crew versus a Takedown Crew on the 7th of October. So I've got to stay neutral on that. Craig Burgess, how you doing? Hey, it's Miss D. What's going on? How you doing? Let's see. 922 Rowdy Royal says, good evening, Dustin, and everyone in chat. How you doing, Rowdy? Thank you for coming in. Miss Melissa, how you doing? Am cooking, but we'll definitely be watching. Well, thank you, Miss Melissa. And please tell Hogleg I will get him that updated thumbnail. I do apologize. I've been slacking on that. I will get that to him shortly. I'll probably work on it when I'm done with this tonight. Buck Williams, it's only $2 off. It is only $2 off, but it's still, it saves you a little bit of money. Let's see. Miss Melissa, Troy wants to know what's for dinner. Fried chicken. There you go. That's always a staple in a Southern household here. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much, Melissa and Hugleg, for everything y'all do. Let's see. I hope I didn't miss anybody. What's going on? What's going on, Andrew? All right, we're gonna bring we got Miss Jodi. What's up, Jodi?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
How you doing? I'm doing great.
Excellent.
Guess who's on the boat tonight? Guess who's on the boat with me tonight?
Well, I'm gonna guess it's Danielle because you have it in the name.
Yeah, but get Danielle who?
Thompson.
That's right.
I read that advertisement every time they come in your show. Every time they come in chat.
Hi, Dustin.
You want to stand up and say hi?
How you doing, Miss Danielle?
Hello.
Hello.
Doing good.
You showing Jodi how to fish?
No, she's showing me, supposedly.
Tell them what you just got.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh, I just got a 33-pound blue.
Nice. That's a nice blue.
Yes.
That's her new PB.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We will have a couple of other folks coming up here shortly. But Jodi, you wanted to come up and talk about your challenge tomorrow night.
Mm-hmm. It is on my show. We're going to start an hour early. Stan was nice enough to let us take his slot and go early. I really appreciate that. And we're doing a trifecta challenge. And it's going to be you have a blue, a flat, and a channel. And whoever's got the biggest, like if more than two people, more than one gets it, the winner who's got the biggest 3 fish of each one, you know, that have to be determined.
So the winner is going to be the total weight of all 3 fish, or is it going to be determined by how that's how it's going to be? Okay.
The weight of the biggest blue, the biggest flat, and the biggest channel you got.
But what? Okay. So if 2 people catch a trifecta, it's the person who has the biggest weight of the total 3 fish. Okay. Got it.
Because we had to, it's in Palmetto's points.
Right.
So we had to find a way to rank people.
Absolutely.
And if nobody gets the trifecta, then we'll go by the biggest fish of one of each. Hey, Stan.
What's up, Stan?
How's it going?
Howdy, howdy.
I see you did some a scavenger hunt for some service and you found some.
I just don't get it. I had full Wi-Fi and everything. We got the new Verizon. We got everything. I did my first couple of lives, and it was like, oh, everything's like. Even they were like, wow, your picture cleared up. Everything is good. And then I don't know what happened again. So
you had full signal, but not necessarily. You had full signal strength, but not necessarily a good signal.
Yeah, well, apparently.
Yeah, that's the funny thing about wireless.
You have any idea what he's talking about, Jodi? I have no clue.
But I will tell you, Stan, your picture right now is probably the best I've ever seen it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
It's because he's got that blue behind him.
Yeah,
that's right.
This is actually I'm in my oldest granddaughter's room, so
yeah.
The Wi-Fi is directly right below this room. So
we got
I'm with Jodi. I think it's the blue.
I agree. Blue.
Yeah.
Hey, but that brings up a great point. If you're ever live with somebody, and you know, I've experienced this a lot. It's like, oh, do I say something? Do I not say something? Tell them, let them know. Like, apparently I was live on Chad's whole show with crappy service. And I'm like, what the? I'm like, man, that was a funny joke. Why is nobody laughing about it? Because they couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
And nobody said nothing. So you're there like an idiot the whole show.
Yeah. I've done lives like that, and I'm like, let me know if it's bad service. And they won't tell you because they don't want you to get off, but you don't want to put out a, a
Right.
bad live where you in and out and can't understand you.
See, as clear as a Sturgis story. Hey, we got David Bassboat Hughes in the house saying hello, Dustin and Jody. That was before Stan popped in. We got Robin C, a member Robin C. You got a Whisker Warrior in the house.
Son of a gun.
Cool. I knew you were going to say that. Cool Catfishing. What's going on? Fishing Mid-South. How you doing?
Dustin, I got to make a deal with you. I know you're behind on chat, which is, that's what happens all the time. Do you know how many Whisker Warriors you're at right now?
4.
Oh, crap. All right, I'm just going to join. I was waiting
for the Whisker Warriors. We have Brian B. Catfishing, who was also a Whisker Warrior.
I wanted to be number 2, and then that kind of passed. So I'm like, all right, I'll be 12. But you know what? I'll just join.
We appreciate that. Cool Cats is saying once you use so much data, they will slow your connection down, so you still have a great signal. You just won't be able to do as much. Mm-hmm. Not on your home Wi-Fi though. They don't do that on your home Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
All right. We got another guest. Let me bring our other guest up real quick. I don't want to leave him backstage. What's going on? F.O.A.
What's up?
F.O.A. F.O.A. F.O.A.
I actually stole that from you, Jody. I don't know if you heard that the other day. That worked out.
I stole it from your son, I think.
Yeah.
I think he was saying it during the monster hunt.
Hey, it all works. Mm-hmm. You know what? As long as it's our friends, we're all good with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, we got Catfish Hunters TV in the house.
That's right, Jody. That's right.
Captain Morgan, Shad Daddy, what's going on? So anyway, Jody, anything else about your tournament? So we got tomorrow starting at 8 p.m. on your channel. You got a full panel, right?
Yep.
I got a full panel.
10 slots. Yep.
So I told you in chat. I don't know if you saw it. My plan is to fish it, but we do have high winds and some rain possibly coming through here tomorrow night. So if that does happen, I'll let you know, and I'll host it from the house.
Okay. If you can fish it though. We can work together and do the hosting.
Absolutely. That's the plan as of right now. But I'll let you know when the weather gets closer.
Yeah.
So it's the three. You got to catch a trifecta. So a channel cat, a blue cat, and a flathead. And then if you have more than one person catch a trifecta, then the total weight of those 3 fish is going to the most weight of those 3 will be the winner of the challenge.
Yeah. The 3 biggest fish. The biggest of each species.
Biggest. Right. All right. Good. That's what I was wondering.
And we are going to be part of the live fishing league, so the points do count.
Yep.
That has been confirmed. So there we go.
So it should be fun. Maybe a few giveaways.
Ooh.
So.
All right. Yeah, I can't. I got a perfect spot that in my head. So we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. And I want to talk about my birthday.
Uh-oh. We'll give Jody a little bit more time to talk about her birthday.
Yeah, I'll be quick. My birthday's Friday, October 27th, and I'm doing a 50th birthday celebration. And everybody who catches a 50-pound fish or bigger gets a birthday prize.
Ooh. Yeah. I might have to fish that night, Jody.
Uh-huh.
I think I'll be fishing that night.
Yeah.
Because my birthday, I knew I liked you for a reason, Jody. My birthday is October 13th.
Okay, there we go.
Well, my wife's birthday is October 6th.
All right.
There we go. See? Yeah. October people, the
Freddie,
best.
You got anybody's birthday in October? Nothing.
Freddie.
Damn River Boy said Granny Jody.
Do what?
Damn River Boy said Granny Jody.
Granny Jody. Oh, the trifecta was Damn River Boy's idea. So I just want to say that.
I saw that. He was talking about that in the group chat.
Yeah.
And since it is part of the live fishing league, it is if nobody catches a trifecta, it's the most weight of your biggest fish of each. So if
Of
you
each
caught a big
species.
channel and a big blue,
Yeah.
it's those
Two.
that's how it's ranked all the way through, right?
So
Yeah.
only
Did I
only
go through-
one fish of each species counts,
One
right?
fish.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That
All right.
way,
So if you catch a 50-pound blue and somebody catches a 30-pound blue and a 10-pound flathead, then that still doesn't beat the 50-pound blue, right?
like if you caught 2 50-pound blues, you only count one.
There we go.
Right.
Okay.
I guess what I'm asking. So say somebody catches a 50-pound blue cat. All right. No.
Yeah.
Say nobody catches the trifecta, and one person
Mhm.
catches a 50-pound blue, but then somebody else catches a 50-pound or a 30-pound blue and a 10-pound flathead. So would the 50-pound blue still beat those two?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. Just want to make that clear.
One, yeah, but you only get to count one. Like I said, if you caught two
Right.
50-pounders, you only get to count one.
Perfect. Perfect. Good idea, by the way, Jody. When you actually asked me about that, I was like, absolutely, go ahead. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot of fun. You don't want to miss that tomorrow night at 8 p.m.
And if
Dan River
anybody
Boys.
catches all three, Dan River's giving him a T-shirt he's having made.
I think he shared it in the group chat. If he doesn't mind me sharing that picture, I can. But if he doesn't want me to, I don't have to. I won't.
It's the logo. Oh, it's a thumbnail, so I'm sure he don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me pull
It
it
was
up real
really
quick.
nice shirt. That lady did a good job.
Math is easy. Math is easy. It's English and social studies that are tough.
I'm going to jump down and let you get to your show.
All right. Thanks for coming up, Miss Jody. Good luck fishing.
Thank you. Bye.
See you later, Jody.
Bye, Jody.
Okay. Bye.
Let me share the screen real quick. This is I believe this is the shirt because this is the one he shared in the group chat. See if I can get that any bigger. Where is that? Didn't work.
Well, while you're doing that, I know Jody, hopefully she's still out there. If I ever had to pick a tournament partner, Jody would definitely be one of the top choices there because she really cares a lot about this, and she's going to go out there and do the best she can to catch a big fish. So that's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on Pontoon Jodi's channel.
Yeah, that's a really nice shirt he's got there, and I agree with you 100%, Stan. I wish I could make it bigger. I can't make that picture bigger.
No, you'd have to download it and then open it up on a like Paint or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, LG Bass said I wanted to fish a trifecta, but I only catch one flathead a year, and I've already caught my one this year. Dan Riverboy said, hope Jody keeps that shirt limited edition for later trifectas. Absolutely. I think she should make it a year-round thing. That'd be awesome. But we have a couple other people coming up. But tonight I wanted to we do. And tonight I wanted to focus on all of our favorite F.O.A. customs and gear. So Freddie, thank you for coming up. We got a couple other F.O.A. members possibly going to show up. Sean being one of them. He bless you. He had something come up, so he's going to try to pop in. But I don't know if he's going to be able to make it or not. But anyway, and Austin from Fishin' Fever should be in here. He said he had to go take a shower, so I told him I didn't want to have to smell on panel, so I preferred that he do so.
Yes, but, especially if your signal is good, because it comes right through the phone. So
we got smell-o-vision now. You didn't know that.
That's right. That's right.
So, Freddie.
Yeah.
F.O.A., you got a lot of new products come out recently. You want to talk about those or all of those or any of those?
Well, we've put out so many new products the past 2 weeks that I don't even know what all we put out. It seems.
I'm still waiting for the flips, Freddie. I'm still waiting for the flips.
Yeah, those are in the house. I gotta get new ones with the new logo on it now. You know.
I will say one of the things I've been looking forward to trying. And Freddie, thank you for getting these out here to try for us to try. But this is going to be what I'm probably going to be using tomorrow night. The float.
Our bobbler.
Bobbler.
I was trying to come up with a catchy name. I'm like, well, it's a bobble. Yeah, whatever. Bobbler.
Stan 3 is still upset about that, Freddie. You know why.
Which, yep, we've got them in yellow and orange, and they come in a 2-pack. A 2-pack, Stan, a 2-pack.
You know what, Freddie? Much love to F.O.A. and you and the whole family. That's I appreciate you sticking with the 2s, which you do a lot.
But with those, let's see.
Woo-hoo! Way to go, LG. Caught a 22-pound blue cat this afternoon. The perfect fish.
Awesome.
Basically, what they are a typical float that clips to your line, just like a planer board does. It's got the same clip, and it's got a free open clip on the back, so this can slide up and down. So if you want to suspend the bait, you simply let the bait line out as far as you want, then clip it on. Now you got a regular bobber, just like a normal bobber with live bait, cut bait, whatever you want. For dragging behind the boat, same concept. Throw your line out, clip it on just like you would a dragging
Planer board
at whatever depth, and let it pull behind. And what this does is, because it's more cylindrical instead of round and bobbly, it planes through the behind the boat in a slight angle like that, but there's less resistance on the water, so it's a smoother pull behind the boat.
And for anybody that normally fishes like slip bobbers and stuff, that means you don't need the float stop. You don't need the bobber stop on there. Cast it out and put that on the line. Or like if you're fishing in the river with current, you can drop it down at whatever depth you want. So if you want to fish 18 feet and let it float back behind the boat, you drop it right down, you click it off at 18 feet, and guess what? At 18 feet, that float's gonna. That's how I intend on winning the couples challenge. And by I mean D. Smithy. Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that.
Yeah. Well, Robin, if you want a light with these, you can simply take one of those little small glow sticks, snap it off, put your piece of tape on it, tape it right there to it, and that'll take care of that portion of it.
Yeah.
You might see that tomorrow night. Just saying.
Or just another hint, because the little small ones are so small, that groove in the clip itself, that groove in between it, it should slide right in their clip. So now it's above the water line, doing it that way.
And if you use Scotch tape or packing tape, it's clear. It'll show right through the tape. I'm just saying.
Yep.
Not that I've tried it. Not that I've tried it already, but
that's what he's talking about. Stick it right in there.
But yeah, you should be able to wedge the little glow stick right in that little clip there. But let's see. All right, so that's one of the bigger products. We also have these new things, which I can't remember what we call them. You know, we got so many products, I don't even remember what we call everything these days.
Hillbilly, we're going to find out pretty soon, and we'll let you know.
They're simply a glow tube. A lot of people use tubing for aerators and stuff. Same concept. It's got a thinner end and a thicker end. And what it does is it simply slides over your hook. Smaller part. And what it does
Freddie,
is it keeps
pull that line over, because what I was worried about, I thought it was kind of stiff until I got there, and I'm like, oh, look at this. Look at that. I'm like, oh, that's going to prevent the hook. I'm like, what the heck is Freddie thinking here? Until I got him in my hand. So I'm like, that's going to prevent that hook. It's not going to let that hook. No, it bends. It's as flexible as the line. There you go. Like, that was my big concern at first. And look at that. So great job, Freddie. That's why you're running F.O.A. and I'm just out here promoting you. But
and these do glow in the dark. Another great thing with these, they do glow. So at night they go in the water. They will glow under the water.
I might be using some of those tomorrow night too.
Hey, there's Monty Chiefs out there. How's it going, Monty?
My buddy.
How you doing, Monty?
And big shout out to Monty's pro staff because they're always out there supporting Monty. So we know what that's like, and that's what you're supposed to do. So great job to Monty
But
and his pro staff.
I probably want
Robin
to say
sees.
the most exciting thing that we came out with in the past 2 weeks are, I know Stand 3s and Level D's are our new super slide sinker slides. And look, on the same rod that I've got the bobble on, I just got it right here. So you've got your main line swivel going to your leader line down. So simply, what it is a long sinker slide, but with that natural bend in it. When you're dragging baits or suspending baits, you don't have the tension that you would from a normal sinker slide going straight up to the line. It gives it more of a natural bend, and these are thin plastic, so look, really flexible, less resistance on your line, and look, they slide up and down just like a regular sinker slide, so you don't have to worry about it getting stopped up or anything like that. And of
I
course,
might be using.
because it's all green,
And dude,
we are always having them paired with.
Love it. Buzz rattle.
And Freddie, I gotta thank you because Stan 3's OCD would be going nuts if you just, if you had the whatever, but he can match the different colors together because he's really got OCD with that stuff. Like he matches his rigs together, and and speaking of that, Freddie, I know you're getting into all the stuff, but I'm sure we're going to talk about the other boxes that you came up with too. Which just reminded me of that. But anyways, Dale Hayslip saying, did Freddie invent that sinker slide? I don't know, but we're going to perfect it. That's for sure.
I will say, no, I did not invent it. But whenever I saw it, I was like, immediately, that's a great option for cat fishermen. And then when I got them in and saw the flexibility and the rigid, and with me dragging baits a lot and having that natural bend, so it puts less tension on the line, I was like, yeah, we're getting those to put on the site. Nobody else out there in the catfish market has them out that I know of.
No.
So, and then we've also got these new little slides. Hey, Freddie's. Which are on my other F.O.A. rod over here.
And Freddie, those are the super slides. They are a game changer because they actually put, regardless of where you're at, they actually put you at that right exact. It's going to prevent. You're going to have less snags. It puts the bait up off the bottom. It's just a perfect idea. Like, it's just, they're great. We've tested them out. We've used them. They catch big fish. They snag less. They're just, they're perfect. They are awesome.
Yep.
Anyway,
Uncle Jeep said those glow tubing works great on your key ring. That way when you drop your keys in the deep water, you can watch them sink for the first 15 feet.
Exactly. And then we came out with, we got this new little thing we call the T slide. It's again another option for a sinker slide. It's basically a regular standard sinker slide, but instead of being plastic, there's a metal spring ring, so it slides right through. This glows in the dark because everybody loves glow, but it gives you that extended amount. Like if you want to use a cannonball sinker or any other type sinker and suspend below the boat. Now you've got that little bit extra, so you can let it hit the bottom. And instead of having to reel 5-6 times, you reel one time, and now you're this far off the bottom with the weight, but you're another 6 inches off the bottom with your bait.
That's awesome. Again,
it's also paired with a Nina Ninja and a white knockout hook, which we should have those hopefully back in stock this week coming up.
There you go, Monty. Thank you. That's right. Monty and Freddie spent some time together at the I keep wanting to say Catapalooza, but it's a Smoky Mountain Fishing Expo this year. And that's what's great about those. That's what's great about the expos and the CatCon and all that stuff. I can't wait for CatCon coming up here in February 23rd and 24th, I believe, this year. If you haven't got your tickets yet, go to catfishconference.com. You can use code 2stance10. But it's going to be the biggest and best yet. You got to get out there. And, to me, it's a family reunion. You're going to get to see all the great products out there, but you're going to get to meet family, and that's what's awesome about it. So, anyways, I'm sorry, Freddie. Go ahead.
No, you're great. No, you're great. And shout out to Monty. People that like bank fish and even the boat fishermen, if you're wanting something to assist you and where you can relax more, the guard dogs are amazing.
I keep
Especially
saying
if
I'm
you
going
got
to
a
get one and
long
try it.
spread out, especially if you're on the bank or somewhere and you got a long spread or you're 20 yards from each rod, you put those guard dogs on the end. Look, it sets the hook for you. So you got plenty of time to get to that fish. But moving on, I had a lot of people talk about peg floats. Yeah, they only come in green, yellow, orange, your standard colors. I'm going from peg floats to hold big baits up, because you got your typical oval peg floats, and you got your egg floats, and what I did
Thank you,
find
Nina.
was a dark color black float.
I like the black.
And these bad boys are a little over 4 inches long. So instead of your typical 2-inch peg float, you can see the difference in the size. And those come with, because it is the midnight peg float, it also comes with a black duo.
Oh,
Reverse the rattle.
Get your rattle with it and your peg float with that. Let's see, what else? Let me look. I'm
well,
looking
and
at the
that's
website.
important when you're using baits this big. That float there will float them.
Yep.
That's the key point there. And for those of you
Turd
that do
float.
a lot of bass fishing and things like that, the color that fish see best at night, you're not going to believe it, is black.
Yep.
Because it contrasts best against the sky. So that's I'm just saying, big baits, the color they can see the best, and keeping it up off the bottom. I'm just throwing it out there.
Same goes
And just-
with muddy water. It's the same
Mhm.
concept. Black,
Yep.
black is your best color.
Yep.
And just-
and with black, a lot of people don't understand. There's actually only 2 colors that actually in muddy water that make a slight difference. That is
Yep.
pink and black. Pink
Yep.
actually is the only color in sunlight that actually gives a glow in dark, muddy water. Black, on the other hand, is the only color in the color spectrum that actually gives a true shadow of the shape. So if I had a yellow, let's just say this orange one and this black one were the same size in the water, the orange will give a smeared shadow. This will actually give it same shadow output because of the color.
Yep.
Why? That's all that technical mumbo jumbo stuff. That's just what we know.
Well, it has to do with the rods and the cones and the catfish eye. No, that's an epic conversation. I'm sorry. I'm leaving that to epic. I'm going to leave that to epic. I'm trying. I'm learning. I'm studying.
And real quick, just if anybody wants to go look at any of this gear, the link is in our description. You can use code TSW10. You can use code Fever10. You can use code 2stands10, and that'll get you 10% off. You can only use one code, but that'll get you 10% off the order.
Whatever you do not use FTW10 or do not use Hammock 10. Those are the 2 codes you do not want to use. Do not use FTW10 and Hammocks 10. They will actually add 10% on. I'm just throwing it out there. That those are the 2 codes you don't want to use.
Oh, see, this is my pro staff. We got pro staff wars going on, folks.
No, in all honesty, look, we don't do this because we believe in Freddie and we believe in what he's doing, him and Nina.
That's right.
And we wouldn't promote this equipment if we didn't believe in it. But it doesn't matter whose code you're using. You're supporting Freddie and Nina and that company, and it's that we can't. I mean, we just can't say any more than that.
Yeah, that's the word, physics.
There you go.
That's right. Physics. There you go.
And then let's see, what are we talking? All right, the next thing I had a lot of people ask about my little rinky-dink ball cap. I'm not professional. I don't get them made from anybody. It's an iron-on. I do the iron-ons in-house, but we did put those on the website. We got them in black or white right now because that's the only 2 colors I can find with the materials they're made out of. So that's another option. We did update the cowboy hats. If you're interested in getting an F.O.A. cowboy hat, now we do offer pretty much any color in the color spectrum.
Nice.
What I do is I take a white hat and I dye it whatever color people want. Speaking of Murillo, his daughter Lauren got a green one. She really loves like the green tie dye. So what we did was we We dyed it like a light green, and it's got little specks where we threw some dark green specks in it. And when it dried out, it looks really cool. I believe
Nice.
that picture is on the website as well. And then we did a purple one for Miss PR. So if you got a color you want out there, you know, not the black or the white, you want a specific color, green, red, orange, one of those colors, we can definitely one of a kind dye it. Just let us know in your comments if you want something other than that. But moving on, you know, weights are a big thing. Everybody carries weights, but we wanted to jump into the weight. You know, we've got our dragon weights and our bottom pounders and stuff like that. But we wanted to start making your typical sinker slide or your typical weights. So we now also pour regular lead weights, you know, your coin sinkers and your cannonballs. They come in a 1, 2. The cannonballs would go from 1 to 4 ounces, and the coins we do 2 to 4 ounces. But we don't do them individually. We do them in packs.
Wait, who said diet?
Little bitty packs. There's a little standard box, and each one of these little boxes, you know, you'll get 2 1 ounce, 2 ounce, 3 ounce, and 4 ounce cannonball sinkers in that pack, which is called the ball sinker pack. Get it, balls.
I like it. That's so unique.
Well,
a coin, right? A coin is called
Freddie.
change.
I just want to know when are you coming out with the big ball sinker pack? That's what I want to know.
Once I get my mold.
Well, we'll have to talk, Freddie. We'll have to talk. Maybe that's something we can do. Maybe that's something we can do here.
Fishing Mid-South and Catfishing Dream said, I didn't come in here to hear diet. He said he would dye the hat a different color.
Oh, dye. Oh, man. Like,
Dye
you know, this diet talk out there, you know, Freddie has the smallest rods. However, he's got the biggest tackle to use them with. So
Yep.
I didn't understand the diet. Now the diet. Now I get it. Thank you, Robin. Thank you. That's right. The Mumbo Jumbo, the 7-inch. You can float some bait with that sucker. Let me tell you.
You know,
Because we have done it.
There's your typical 4-inch Nina Ninja, which everybody carries 4-inch ones, but nobody carries a 7-inch. Just saying.
Oh, somebody does.
So let's see. I am done. The only other products that we've dropped yet, we've got more products inbound. Aha! And being tested are our tackle packs. We added a couple tackle packs. Everybody saw what we call the boogie down tackle pack that stand 3-1, which is all the bright colors, the bright bites, the boogie beads, and all the wild, crazy colors. But we came up with what we call our Pick Your Poison pack. It is now dropped on the site. You got 3 versions. You got your standard version, you got an extra large version, and then you got your super extra large version. And each one is a little bit different price because there's different things that go in it. Any other secrets? Big wrench, yes. I think you know about one of my secrets that we're working.
Well, and I think Big Wrench, Freddie, if I'm not mistaken, was he the first one to get that? Because he was texting me and he was messaging me. I mean, I think for a month and a half, he was like, when is Freddie coming out with that box? When is Freddie coming out with the
Yes. He was, look, within 10 minutes of dropping it onto the website and posting it on our Facebook, I had an order from Big Wrench for the Pick Your Poison pack. Because we want to give people options that you don't typically get with a tackle pack.
Mm-hmm.
Pick what size dragon weights you get. Pick what color Nina Ninjas you get. Pick the colors of your buzz rattles or duo pops. What type of beads? Whether you want your standard beads or you want the new boogie beads. And then, most important, what kind of hooks do you want? What size and what kind? Everything that we carry, you can pick what you want and build your pack around yourself. Whether you want an all yellow pack, an all green pack, or just regular glow hooks with black buzz rattles and gold colored Nina Ninjas. We get whatever color combination people want that way.
And there's Brandon Catfishing Dreams. Freddie, I am legit impressed. Now, first of all, Brandon Catfishing Dreams, he does a lot of the 3D printing. He does a lot of we're talking about a person out there that's looked into a lot of this stuff, that's done a lot of this stuff. I'm legit impressed with your glow hooks. If I could post a link, I'd post a link to some line snips with a UV light that can charge them. Freddie's like,
Pretty cool.
he's already looking. He's already looking. Okay, UV light charger.
That's right. And Big Wrench is actually got shipped out the other day, and it should be in his mailbox tomorrow. So,
Well, Big Wrench, I hope you use code 2stands10. Or
but I wanted to give a shout out to everybody out there who's been ordering stuff. We appreciate every order we get. But a lot of people lately haven't been using the promo codes, you know, that
yeah,
you guys have been putting out. So I want to encourage, you know, it saves the customer 10%. I know everybody loves me and wants me to get all my money, but if you can save 10%, if nothing else, that's part of your shipping cost. A lot of times,
Well-
that at least take care of that portion of it. So,
Freddie, one thing I've known about you is, you know, yes, obviously it's a business. You're trying to, you know, you're retired military. So first of all, thank you. Appreciate your
Absolutely.
many years of service.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh,
The
oh.
one thing, anybody that's
Nope.
known Freddie, if there's a kids tournament, Freddie's donating. If there's a adult tournament, Freddie's donating. If there's a YouTube tournament, Freddie's donating. If there's somebody that said, you know, I can't say enough about, you know, Freddie, Nina, Halana, Trey, the whole family. They're like they're our extended family, and I can't express the love I have for them. But you know, if you want to support a veteran, if you want to support a family, and he supports our whole family, our whole Catfish family, you know, and we don't even hear all of the local tournaments, all of the other stuff that Freddie donates to and does all this other stuff. And, you know, I know we're here and blah, blah, blah. And people are saying, oh, it's not like that's my true love. That's my true, I can't say, you know, that's all I can say. Like that's,
well, I appreciate it, Sam. Now, if y'all give me just a second, I see that Catfish Dog asked, could I show off a bottom panel? I got one out there in the Jeep. Let me go grab it because the rest of them are in the house. Give me just a minute. Y'all talk about me, and I'll be right back.
So, Austin, welcome to the show. I know you haven't said much since you've been here.
I was just letting Freddie do his thing, you know.
yeah.
Oh, I know you were, but we here for a reason. So, first off, welcome. Thank you again for coming on as always.
Thank you for having me.
That's an awesome shirt you got on there, by the way.
I know it, man. If I'd have to stand up and do it, but it says get your weight up on the back. You know, I got a personalized one that Teespring. You know, they personalized it for me. They specifically messed it up just for me. You know, so the
That was
font
awful
is
kind
wrong.
of them.
Yep, the font is wrong and everything. Stand 3 was hot, but
He's
good
still
man.
hot.
I know it, but I told him not to worry about it. You know, I said, "Hey, man, it's a one of a kind. I'm fine." But
We're gonna try to get somebody like you know, somebody that has like a cricket or something like that to do some shirts for us. I don't know, somebody
I know.
locally maybe that we might know. I'm not sure who that is, but
me neither.
maybe they've got the nickname Mima. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, maybe.
Who's that? Oh, hey, Catfish of Dreams. If you want to drop it, you are now a moderator. So go right ahead.
Congratulations.
and that's right, JG. Like one thing that you will know about me is not a commercial. This is a passion for fishing. If you've seen any of my Facebook posts, I will get in an argument. I have a passion for this. Like this is, you know, speaking up for catfishing, speaking up for the trophy fish, for, you know, doing it the right way and etc. Like that is my passion. Like I'll argue, I'll fight with anybody that wants to go against that. Like this is not something that Freddie said, oh, I'll give you $50. No, I don't. I've told Freddie from the beginning, don't send us anything. We don't want anything. We believe in you. We believe in this stuff because you have the same passion that I do. And, you know, anybody that knows me will know that that is the truth. That is what I believe in. That is everything. So, yeah, that's, you know, I think that it's up to us, each one of us, to be a catfish ambassador. And the more people that we can, if each one of us just changes one person's mind to not go to pay ponds, to kill lakes, to not, you know, to release a 40, 50, 60 pounder and keep, you know, I keep fish. You know, I kept the flathead a few weeks ago that we caught that wasn't going to make it. I've kept some 3 to 5 pound blue cats. You know, I believe in harvesting fish. I really do, because that does help the population. But keeping and harvesting trophy breeder fish just hurts everything. There's no need for it. There's no need for that. But this is a passion of mine. Like, I study this weekly. I'm reading. I'm constantly learning and trying to do this stuff. So that is why we've associated with Freddie and F.O.A. And that's why we believe in this. And you know, it's not a commercial. It's not, you'll hear, you know, I'm in tears, but that's the truth. That's how I feel about it.
So
But anyway.
Catfish Dog wanted to see. So about our dragon weights, this is one of our typical dragon weights. This is our 4 ounce. It's 11 inches long, a little bit shorter than most 4 ounces out there. We did a little bit larger bead, but we pour all of our lead in house. So I take scrap lead weights from tires and stuff, pour them to get the impurities out, and then re-pour them into the lead. So it's 99.9% pure lead weights that we're using, not some of this zinc covered or copper covered that will rust. So don't have to worry about that on them. But this is our 4-inch drag 'em, and then I'm going to compare it to our 8-inch bottom pounder. This is our 8-inch bottom pounder versus our 4-inch drag 'em. As you can see, the same length at the top, pretty much.
You mean ounce, right?
Yeah, it's a half inch longer. So this is an 8 ounce. This is a 4 ounce, and you can see the difference in the length.
Well,
so it's 11 and a half inches. And again, these right now we're doing them in double beads, basically buckshot size BBs. Again, all poured in house, so you don't have to worry about it rusting. But gives you that flexibility. No, and ours, that's one thing I do not like, because if you're taking a long dragon weight, say a 4 ounce dragon weight of any other companies, is usually another 3 or 4 inches, and they've got about 2 inches of foam. Well, if you're pulling baits on a Santee rig, you're already losing a half ounce to an ounce being pulled up by that float
at least.
So if you put say a 1-inch piece of float in there, now you're losing that much from that float being pulled up. You're only dragging basically an ounce across the bottom. Some things that's good for, but I want to keep my bait closer, and this still do the same thing without having that float.
And Freddie, if you're in current and doing that stuff, your dragon weight's already up off the bottom with a float on there. So that's that's another whole that's another whole thing that we won't get into right now. But yes, I agree with you 100%.
And everything you just said, Freddie, especially coupled with the new sinker slides that are on the website.
Yes.
When that dragging weight is closer to the bottom like that, like you're explaining, and you put it with that new sinker slide right there, so then that protects where your swivel is, that knot and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's not going past it. But
you're good to go.
You're basically
there you go.
When you're pulling across the bottom with something like this, this is our 2 ounce. So you're basically only pulling about an ounce. So if you're looking going across the bottom right there, that being drug, you're already 3 inches, 4 inches off the bottom.
And as you can see, what Austin was saying with that super sinker slide, that's increasing the angle of your main line up, so it's already putting it up off the bottom a little more.
Yeah.
So between that's if you put a float on there on top of that, now you've got that whole. It's gonna lift it up even more. So that super sinker slide with those dragon weights like that, just amazing.
Let's see. Does the added length change experience on a sinker slide? It depends. If I've got a bunch of other brands, but other than mine that I have in mind, there's a little bit longer, smaller beads. Does it affect anything? Well, my beads are basically 1/8 of an ounce on each bead that's in here. So basically that's an ounce. So with theirs, you're talking that much is an ounce. So when you're talking about pulling and being a half ounce or an ounce up out of the water, you're talking theirs are already 4 or 5 inches up out of the water. Mine's only about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Does it matter as far as snags? Typically not, because your narrowness of your tip whether it be the thicker ones like mine or even the bottom pounders that are thicker. When it's running over a stick, even a V stick, it's coming across there, and with that natural bend, it's going to bend instead of getting hung up. It's going to bend and smooth right through it, whether it goes straight or on that opposite angle.
And then especially with the super slide, like we were showing before, that's going to be up above. The super slide is already going to be putting that at a Y kind of angle or a V, whatever you want to say.
Yeah,
so it's going to be already lifting your bait up above that other snag. So that's why I think the two of them in combination are amazing.
Yeah, and that's what I love about these instead of a smaller sinker slide that's got that, basically you're almost at a 45 if you're using a small one up. So that tension on that line tip right there between the sinker slide and the line is already a lot more on those small ones than this. Gives it more of a natural. And again, you get hung up, this gives a natural upswing, so it wants to bounce more. It wants to get more of a bounce because the flexibility of that sinker slide.
Yes. Some Catfishing Dream saying so many jokes he's passing on. Well, thank you, Brandon. We appreciate that. But
we definitely appreciate that. Thank you so much.
And again, Freddie, I've been fishing for 5 decades, and you've proved me wrong. Like I was like, what the hell is that crap? And we get it and we use it, and it's like, holy crap, that is pretty awesome. And I suggest everybody out there, like, there's so many times you've been I've been fishing whatever. Try new stuff. Even if you try it on 2 of your poles, and on the other 2 use your normal stuff. And don't be afraid. Don't get stuck. There was a Facebook post the other day, and this guy is no, you have to have your sinker has to be sliding. That's the only way to fish. Like, dude, you're not talking about dragging weights. You're not talking about you're doing a great job of describing a Carolina rig, because he wasn't even putting a float on it. It has to be on a slide. It has to be on this. Yep. Like, don't get so caught up in one. There's so many different ways, and I think that's the big thing that Stan 3 and I, where you've seen us go from, when we first started our first live, we were catching 20 pounders, and I'm on the bank and I'm fighting this 20-something pound fish, and it's like a monster, and we're doing this and that, and now it's like 50, 60s, and you keep going up that thing. You always keep learning. You always keep adjusting your don't be afraid to try new stuff.
Yep.
And learn new stuff.
Catfishing Dreams was saying he likes how the long super slider protects the sinker at the bottom. As you can see, this is a standard sinker slider, which we carry those too, but you can see the difference in the thickness of these two roundness. So if you've got this, that's actually a stop almost. You're talking a 1/4 of an inch versus an 1/8 of an inch, and this is almost the same size as a typical swivel circle. So it's more of a natural smoothness, unlike having one of these big old standard sinker slides there. Now you got a big bump in the way. So these, I think, actually tend to snag up more than anything else. Not the weights themselves, and not your lines and hooks a lot of times, unless you're going over a lot of stuff. But when you're running over rocks and these smaller sticks, I think your regular sinker slide, because that big knot on the end of them, it's getting bumped up against that stuff, and that's actually what's hanging up everything else.
Yeah, I was gonna point that out as well.
Not to mention, if you got the line. Oh, let's see if I can just throw it on here real quick.
Well,
if say this is a swivel, not what it is, and you're dragging baits, you can see the angle going up to the boat. How much on the tip of that line where that sinker slide is compared to one of those long ones that has that natural bend like that. This regular sinker slide, you're putting a lot of tension in that bend.
Yep. It's going to slide through. And here's something else that nobody else is thinking about. And we experience this here on the James River. And how many people out there? Hey, it's not fishing with the Mid-South, fishing with the big mouth. I mean, Mid-South. It's not the size of the rod, it's how you use it. All right? I'm just saying that.
Well, we're hopefully going to have more rods come out probably late spring, summer next year. We're actually working on 2 more catfishing rods. We're looking at doing your standard 7.5 foot catfish. And we're also looking at doing not a 10 foot, but a 13 foot.
Whoa!
Bank/surf rod.
A Danny Stone special.
That's what I was thinking.
All right, put me
Yeah,
down right now.
Come out.
I
With
want
the
2 of them,
13-footer.
Freddie. I want 2 of them right now. I'm ordering them. It's I'm going to use code 2stands10 right now. For those that don't know, my birthday is October 13th, and before I started doing YouTube, the first big catfish I caught was 22 pounds, and that kind of was like 2 stands, and that kind of was like the whole, the 2s didn't start to my older life, but until then, like 13 was my lucky number. It's just weird how like numbers just keep. I'm a math person, so I guess I understand it. Like the numbers, just for Freddie to have a 13-foot rod to come out, and that was for 40 whatever years of my life, that was my lucky number. That's just crazy. That's amazing.
As long as it doesn't come out on his birthday this year, because it's Friday the 13th.
Look, no, it won't be. Neither one of those rods will be out this year because we just don't have the filming.
Well, I'm going to be promoting them, dang it.
Mid-South said, what action will they have a soft tip? He's building a saltwater collection.
For our 7'6" regular rod, it's going to be a medium heavy power, and it's going to be a moderate fast tip. That's the only version we're going to have in it. It's going to come out as a casting. I know there's a handful of people that like spinning rods, but if people use our 6 foot and 5 foot right now, they're casting as well, but you can use spinning reels on them just as fine. And because of the carbon fiber versus your typical S-glass stuff, the backbone on a carbon fiber is both ways. It's not just one way. Just like you can still use any spinning rod. Spinning rod with a casting reel or vice versa.
There you go.
It limits your distance. Is basically the only thing it really does on most rods. Now, the backbone on an S-glass rod is a little bit weaker on the eye side for a casting and is stronger for a spinning. The backbone is a little bit different. However, with the carbon fiber, that backbone is actually on both sides of that rod versus just one side.
Right. Well, I'm glad. Dang, Freddie, you know your stuff. Son of a gun, I was going to point all that out, but you already know it. Imagine that it's like you own the company or something.
we're going to do that with our 7.6, and then our 13 foot. Once we do get it made, it's going to be a spinning version on it, because if you're wanting to launch baits, most likely you want that spinner versus that caster. Some people want a caster, but most people want that big spinning reel to use it on the bank.
What, 8,000 or something? It's like
and with the 13 foot, it's going to be a medium heavy. It's going to be a moderate to fast to action, because we like that tip. We like to see that finicky bite.
And Freddie, Stand 3 does a lot of flounder fishing.
Yep.
And the 5 and 6 foot, I think he likes the 6 foot a little better, but for flounder fishing, like he's like, this is just amazing, because you're when you're doing flounder fishing, especially like you're not offshore, you're in there, that you've got a lot of current coming back and forth, and you're fishing a lot of tide. He absolutely loves the Freddie rods, the double Y rods for flounder fishing. Because you're bouncing that jig right up off the bottom, and we've all seen what Freddie rods do for that. So I think it was Mid-South that was talking about saltwater.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. It's not a casting surf rod per se, but I tell you what, when you're using big baits on the river, for those that are worried about from the bank, I'm not using a 6 foot. Well, this rod can handle casting those bigger baits. I'd rather have. And y'all know me, I'm a big fan of the ugly sticks and whatnot. They're rated to cast 3 ounces. Your 6 foot. I'd rather have a 6 foot or 5 foot double Y rod that's rated to cast the weights that we're using, as opposed to a 7 foot or an 8 foot ugly stick that's only rated to cast 3 ounces. I guarantee you, with that 5 foot Freddie rod, I can cast further than my 8 foot ugly stick that's only rated to cast 3 ounces. Count. I don't know where I'm going with the count, but
numbers.
Yeah, it's the numbers. But that's without a doubt. And for those that are bank fishing, don't think, oh, it's only 5 foot, it's only 6 foot. It will handle the weights that you use on the rivers to cast those bigger baits and bigger weights. So,
and you can cast it almost the same distance. The
Yeah.
6 foot, for a fact, we know it'll almost cast as far as the 7 foot 6 will, because Big Mike did it at the gathering this past gathering we had in Tennessee in April. They were all casting a 6 foot F.O.A. rod with a 6 ounce lead on it, and he threw it 360 feet. If people don't know, that's over 120, 130 yards. And they took a 7.6 and got another 10 yards out of it with basically the same setup. So you're only gaining those longer rods. Yeah, you're going to gain a little bit of distance if they're that same power, but you're not going to gain a lot of distance unless you're talking going from a 6 foot to a 12 foot. You know, your 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s. That's when you're talking no trees around. You're trying to cast across the Mississippi or out in the ocean.
Right. And, you know, Freddie, imagine how much easier it would have been. I probably wouldn't have fell and broke my rib the first night we were together if we would have had those shorter rods. Like we were, you know, going through the bush and all that stuff. I probably would not have fell and broke my ribs if we would have had your rods with us that first night. I'm just saying, you know, that could have happened.
Yep.
We've been live
over Brandon. He casted it just like a typical overhead cast.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I would concur. Like we've casted the Freddie rods just as far as our 7.5 foot Uncle Lou's and Muddy River and whatever other rods we use. Like they cast just as far.
And for your boat guys and your boat, your kayak guys are actually out on the water. You don't need something that'll cast 100 yards.
Yeah.
Because you're in a boat, you should be closer to that fish anyway. Because if the closer you are, the more control you have over that bait and where that weight actually sits. If you're casting 60, 80 yards behind the boat and you got current, that bait's moving, that weight's moving.
Okay.
And you might want to be in this foot of section, but because that current, you're 2 foot over, 3 foot over. You're not exactly.
Let me clear something up. I see some jokes and stuff going out there, and Hillbilly Hondo is saying, I thought you wanted shorter rods on kayaks. You do. It's not a 13-foot kayak rod. You know, the double Y rods are the ones for the kayaks. It's got the shorter butt, which Stand 3, if you check us out on Two Stands Fishing, it's our premiere video. It's the one that we pop up first. It's Stand 3 testing out the kayak rods, the double Y rods, and the shorter butt. You know, if you've got a pedal system on the kayak, shorter butt helps with that. Like you can still pedal. You can put it fits in the monster rod holders and every other rod holder out there. But it's not a 13-foot kayak rod.
Not that there might be one out there, but not that I know of.
Yeah, no. So your kayak rods, your double Y rods, that was your youth and yak. But Freddie, I think you missed a thing with that. Like that was your whole purpose behind it.
That was the main concept from, you know, went to CatCon a year and a half, 2 years ago now, and saw that there wasn't nothing out there really for kids as far as true catfishing rods.
Yeah, it was your Paw Patrol and your.
And nothing but there was one option for a kayak rod, you know. So that's why we came up with the smaller diameter, shorter handle. Again, it was designed around the youth and our kayak anglers. Especially the kayak anglers, something smaller diameter and shorter. It's easier to get in and out of the rod holders with, you know. But nowadays, they're used for pretty much everything. I've got nothing but my rods on my boat now, you know, but not because I'm the owner of it, just because I don't want a rod that'll cast a mile. I like the power of these medium power rods. It's plenty to catch that 80, that 100, that new world record catfish. You don't need a medium heavy. You don't need a heavy. You don't need an extra heavy for pretty much any instance, unless you're fishing something super current like the Mississippi. And then you might want to go up to a medium heavy, but a medium will do just as good as a medium heavy. Look, the world record was caught on an ugly stick.
Wait,
an ugly stick.
Did you say medium action rod, Freddie? I seem to recall somebody catching a 200+ pound fish on a medium action rod. It was an Uncle Lou rod at the time, but you know, I'm just saying. And that's where people get confused. You can catch big fish. You can catch big fish on any action rod. The whole purpose of that is your casting. You know, it's what baits you're using, what weights you're using, what current you're fishing in. That's the whole big point behind that. Like, it's not the catching of the fish, not the size of the fish you catch. It's how much you're casting. It's how much what conditions you're fishing in. That is the big thing with all the other things with the rods. It's how much you're casting, and that is the big point of all the rods.
And I want to add something too. So you talk about the the shorter butts on your rods. For the kayaks. I'll tell you what, I've said this on our show out on the water before.
Yep.
The way my boat is set up, the way my rod holders, my monster rod holders are, the way to get to them, I don't like the longer butts because I have to lean a little bit farther over to get them out of the rod holders. I really love the shorter butts on those rods because they come out of the rod holder so much easier, even on a big boat setup like mine.
Yep.
And Brandon said he got to fish with the F.O.A rods when he was with J-Dog. You know, they're super lightweight, being that carbon fiber. A lot of people, when they hear carbon fiber, they get scared. Your freshwater fishermen do, because they think they're junk rods, you know. But a lot of people fail to realize, carbon fiber is actually what all 90% of your saltwater heavy duty jig rods for flounder, grouper, amberjack are made out of. Carbon fiber. If you hear somebody say graphite, that's the same as carbon. Carbon fiber and graphite are 95% the same. It's just what one company calls it over the other.
How you doing, Miss Alana?
I think one thing that we don't talk about enough with the F.O.A rods is the double Y rods is how easy it is to store them because of the shorter length. That should be one of the main selling points. I can't tell you how much easier it is to store a 5 or a 6 foot rod than it is a 7'6". The bed of my truck is 6.5 feet long, and it's the F-150 Super Crew or whatever they call it. But I can't tell you, if you're like me, you got a ton of crap in the back of the truck. And on a 7'6" rod, you got to put it in there at an angle, and you got crap laying on top of it, or it's laying on other crap, you know. But the 6 foot or 5 foot, you just slide it right in there, and that's one of the best things about an F.O.A rod right there.
And Brandon corrected me. Graphite is a lightning grounding rod, and carbon's not.
Yes, this is true. But yeah, and Austin, you're right. Like, how many people out there don't have trucks, don't have SUVs? They're going bank fishing in their car.
Exactly.
Like, you can literally put these rods in your trunk.
Yep.
You can literally put them across your back seat. You can literally, you don't have to have, like the rods, for those of us that have done that before, where you got it across the front, they're sticking out your back.
They're sticking out
your
the back window.
And it's, catching in bush and stuff when you're getting closer. And yeah, these are just awesome.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like on my boat. My boat has an open side compartment where rods.
Oh, there you go.
Fit, but it would only fit 2 7.5 foot rods because of length, and because you had to turn one way, the other way, you're losing a lot of room. But with the 5 and 6 foots, I can stagger them because there's a little bit difference in length, and I can get 10 rods in the same spot as 2 regular rods, 2 regular size rods because of it.
Yeah, at one time I was looking at the Tracker Grizzly, like 18 foot, center console, all that fun stuff. Basically what Brandon Fishizzle has, but a little smaller. And they have one with rod storage, and it was either that one or another one, but the rod storage was like, it would fit up to 7 foot rods. And I'm like, well, that doesn't do a catfisherman any justice unless you have F.O.A rods.
And let's talk about those, those people up at the Potomac River fishing in DC and stuff that have, I'm not making this up. They take Ubers out to the river. Well, how easy is it? A 7.5 foot one-piece rod as opposed to a 5-foot one-piece rod.
Yep.
Any Uber can get that. You can go in your back seat and carry it right in the back seat with you.
Not to mention,
you can actually Uber your 5-foot double Y rods right to the river. I'm just saying.
Not to mention, what, a 6-foot F.O.A. rod is what, Freddie? $89? $85?
85.
It's less than $100
instead of $120 for a 7'6" rod, and it's just as strong, and you can put it anywhere,
if not stronger.
Yes, seems like a no-brainer to me.
There you go, and that's the that's Catfishing Dream says most bank fishermen are using 2-piece rods because of that, wishing they could find a 1-piece rod that does the same.
Yep.
And that was it was a no-brainer for when. There's no question. Freddie and I have been friends and family since a couple years now.
Yeah.
Since Freddie and Nina was like surprising Freddie. Okay, where do you want to go fish? He's like, I want to go up and fish with 2 stands for their anniversary a couple years ago. And man, Freddie, I've caught. Everybody jokes around me about the sturgeon story, but that's my second best story. My first best one is you and Nina both doubling up on your PBs at that point. At the same, that's my number one memorable story here. So and then for you to go from there to now having the F.O.As and et cetera, and I was there when Epic happened to walk by and he's like, "Whoa!" He looked at the weight, like he didn't look at your rod first. I was right there when I saw him look at the weight, and then he looked up at the rod, and he's like, he was puzzled. He was inquisitive. He's like, I saw him do kind of this kind of thing, and he's like, there's no way that rod is holding that much weight up off the ground at that length. And he kind of stood there for a couple minutes, and he was and you know what he did next? He bought 2 of them. So that should answer your question right there. Like that.
For everybody out there knows Epic, Tim Scott, and then for him to tell me that he hasn't actually bought a fishing rod since 2003 because he was given rods, or he liked the rod but didn't really, wasn't sure about the rod. And for him to actually buy 2 of our rods, that means a lot. A guy that was a guide for the longest time, and now all he does is hunt monster fish. For him to actually say these rods are so awesome, I'm buying 2 of them. That actually got to me a little bit at CatCon. And we had a couple guides that come through actually looking at them, were actually really interested at CatCon for their guide service. And since we've come home and started launching the product, we've actually got 6 different guides, 4 here in South Carolina, 1 in Texas, and 1 in Tennessee that actually are guide services that use our rods a lot now, that have actually ordered multiple rods.
Yes, sorry, Dustin. That was one of the couple times I stepped away from the front gate, and I actually got to see Epic do that.
That's awesome.
8,000 and something people in 2 days at last year's CatCon. And I went there thinking, okay, I'm going to be at F.O.A's booth the entire time because, at that point, it was like Stan 3 and I that were, he had asked a bunch of us to test the rods out. And, there was a bunch of, I shouldn't say a bunch. There was multiple of us that did it.
Uh-oh.
And, but let's face it was Stan 3 that, like, we went out there, we twisted rod. We twisted the guides. We twisted the tips. We put the reel on there. We were like trying to twist the reel sideways. So, you see our main video out there of Stan 3 going out there, and he caught 2 60-plus pound fish the first time he went out there with the double Y rods. And I mean, we did what we could to, Austin. I think Austin will agree with me with this. There's only one thing that can break an F.O.A. rod, and that's the United States Postal Service.
Exactly right.
For the most part, we've had to replace 2 rods that people have broke because they, playing around with them, you know, wanting to be a rubber band rod instead of an actual fishing rod.
Well,
What people don't understand, you got to let the rod, if you let the rod load up, it is not going to break.
Freddie,
But
there's
as
some
far as
dang
the
strong
tip,
people because we tried that stuff and we couldn't get it to break.
but as far as the tip width of our rod versus regular standard rod, this is a Mad Cat's medium. This is our 6-foot medium. And if you put them back to, well, let me put mine in front since it is a slightly thinner. Let me turn around the same way.
While Freddie's setting this up, you know where you can check all this stuff out?
But there's the
Next
difference
February
in the
23rd and 24th at CatCon, Catfish Conference. You can
So
see
there's-
all these different rods.
So there's your meat. This is a medium Mad Cat's, and this is a medium F.O.A. 6-foot. If you look at them, basically the same eye up at the top, same secondary eye, and they're both, you know, medium power. And let me compare them as far as, let's see, the Mad Cat's medium that I got in my hand is rated for 1 to 10 ounces, and mine is and the F.O.A. 6-foot's 1 to 8 ounces. The Mad Cat's line is 10 to 50 pounds, and the FOA is 10 to 40. So slightly lighter as far as that. But I can tell you right now, as far as power-wise, if I hung my little 16-ounce weight like I do, or my 32-ounce weight at CatCon on this Mad Cat's rod, from this angle, you're talking, you couldn't even see it in the screen. However, if I took my little 6-foot FOA rod, you still see the tip.
Oh,
That's
Freddie. That's way too much of a bend. It's not even doing that.
Yeah, but that you can see it still has that same. It's actually got, that's the Mad Cat sensitivity. You can see the sensitivity of our rods compared. It's a little bit more sensitive, but they're both moderate to fast action.
And I'm going to throw this out there, Freddie, just because it's coming up this weekend. The Catfish, the Couples Challenge is on Fields to Water channel Saturday morning, 8 a.m., 8 to 1. We won that last year, and last year I caught 20-something fish last year. By I mean D. Smithy. I think I caught 1 fish, and she was using a 5-foot FOA rod, just dangling it off the bottom, boom, boom, and she was kind of jigging it off the bottom as we were going through there, and that was on FOA rods.
So I'm trying to get them exactly the same length. So that is our 8-ounce bottom pounder, and these rods are parallel to each other, and you can see the difference in the tip action. That how much more of a backbone that FOA rod has compared to that Mad Cat's, and I'm holding it right here.
There you go. Yep.
If I held it further down, see how much more that Mad Cat starts bending. And that's just 8 ounces.
And for everybody out there, this is not a hate. You know, your
I
big
love my
cat
Mad Cat
beavers,
rod.
your big cat beavers, your Mad Cats, your Uncle Lou's, your muddy rivers. They're all amazing, awesome rods, and everybody's going to find their favorite. It might be the feel of the handle. It might be the length of whatever. It might be. You're going to have your favorite rods. This is just why we like using the FOA rods.
Yep.
And I love Muddy River rods also. I love Uncle Lou rods also. But you know, this is just the comparison against the two in certain situations, and that's what that's at.
And so there's the butt handles that shows you the difference in length.
That's my favorite part.
There's
Absolutely.
10.5, 11.
Yep.
So there's the length difference. And then the upper handle, see how much longer the upper handle is. Do you need all that to catch a fish? No.
No.
That same little handle right there, you can wrap around and get just as much power. Let me see if I can get it in the right angle.
Not to mention how much lighter that makes that FOA rod.
And to put the butts together, ours is the top one, theirs is the lower one. Their butt is 1 3/4 inches, ours is 1.5 inches. So it's a little bit smaller diameter overall in the rod itself. So again, nothing about any of the other big rods. This is just a shorter option of a big rod for those that want it. You know?
There you go. There you go.
As you can see, I've got Mad Cats. This is one of my favorite Mad Cats rods. This is my Mad Cats Gold Rush. It don't have a reel on it just because I took the reel off because it was a cheap reel I had on it. So, but I've got my Mad Cats. I've got my Uncle Lou's. I've got my Catch the Fever. You know, I've got my B&Ms. I've got pretty much at least one rod of every major brand out there. Are any better than the other? I'll tell you right now, no. The rod is the rod is the rod. If you let the rod do its job, any rod, any brand will do it. You just got to let the rod do it.
That it's about preference. What works best for you, and what's your most confident with.
Yeah, and that's it. Confidence, and you know, the confidence is the biggest thing. You know, now
And
one
if
thing
anybody
we don't
questions
have to
that, like, you know, we all talk about the sturgeon story. Well, I talk about the sturgeon. I don't know if you all talk about that. I talk about the sturgeon story. Like, I literally blacked out a couple times during that, and I was just sitting there holding on to it. So, you know, the Uncle Lou rod did what it was supposed to do. I had the drag set, so it did what it was supposed to do. You know, me, I just got lucky. I was there. I happened to have Dan and Stan 3 with me, and that was the whole. They caught the fish. I just happened to be there to take credit for it. But
Now I watched that live. You were doing a lot of the work too, Stan.
Well, you know, I was lucky, and that's you know, Dustin, I fished with you, Austin. You know, we're gonna get out there, and you know, I've been lucky enough to talk with you a bunch of times, and you know, look, I said to you from day one that once you get that whatever, and look, bam, the last tournament you were in, what happened?
Yep.
Out on your own 50-pounder. I knew that was what was going to happen for you, and that's just the several of many that's going to keep coming. Like, that's how it goes. Like, it's just a matter of you go to that next, you pick up a little more, and 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 it just everything you take in from everybody along that trip. And you know, when you get associated with great equipment like F.O.A, and you just keep doing those things. Like, that's how it just keeps snowballing and snowballing and snowballing.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically how it is. Like, that's just how it works.
Right.
And you know how I am, Mimo. I like to promote everybody. If you haven't seen the trophy presentation for the Fever Believer Bash video on Fish and Fever's channel, you got to go watch it.
What the hell? I didn't even know there was a trophy. I just thought it was a tournament. I didn't know there was a trophy.
And there was a trophy.
And so Laken mentioned that the way our reel seat is, your typical catfish rod has the nuts
there you go,
lower end where you reel it, lock them up into the reel. A lot of times those actually start coming loose because that tension, you're fighting that fish, that reel's bouncing up and down. With ours, with the reels, the nuts on the top, once it locks down, it's a lot harder for that to come loose because your reel tension with those fish is keeping those nuts together better than it is on the bottom, to my opinion, and a lot of people's.
So here's what happens. It's just a matter of you know, we talked about physics before. When you're reeling against it and you're pulling against it, the reel is pulling against those double the nuts that are wow. Man, I'm so smart and I'm talking like an idiot. You got the nuts that are screwing it down against the reel seat, and you got the fish pulling the reel up against that. Well, at the other end, if it screws in from the bottom, it's pulling the reel up away from the nuts that screw the reel in. So what's that do? It makes it loose, and then it pulls it tighter. It pulls it even more, makes it even more loose. Next thing you know, you got your reel kind of going, doing this thing. And that's where you see people kind of doing their whole thing where they're trying to reel the reel in. But that was, yeah. So I always want it to screw down from the top, because then when the big fish is on it, it's pulling against those nuts. It locks it in even tighter. And if it's pulling away from the nuts on the bottom, it's pulling away from where it's tight, where it can loosen it up. And that's it.
There you go. Well, I know Freddie said he'd come up here for a little bit, and I greatly appreciate you I greatly appreciate you coming up on the show this evening. Stan, Austin, as always, thank you so much for coming up. Always enjoy having y'all on the show and your input.
Dustin,
Yes, sir.
Hold on. You know, Freddie talked for probably 70% of the show. I probably talked for 22% of the show. You talked for whatever percent of the show. I think Austin said maybe 22 words.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, let's let Austin talk, for like a couple minutes. Like, congratulations, Austin, on your the Fever Believer tournament.
Oh, thank you very much.
Damn you for beating Stan 3, but congratulations.
Oh man, yeah, beating Stan 3 was on my bucket list for sure. Just it's one of those things that I never thought would happen. But no, thank you very much. No, it was a very, very successful tournament for many different reasons. But I don't know. What do y'all want me to talk about?
Whatever you want to say, brother. Like, I know my wife was like, if you go up on live, you take over every show. You just keep talking, blah, 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 blah. And I know that you're kind of like laid back. You kind of just sit there and wait for everybody to stop talking. Like, we're stop talking. Like, we're trying to give you, anything else you want to say about F.O.A? Like, you're one of the newest. You're one of the newest F.O.A. How do you feel about that? Like,
I love it, man.
You're an amazing member here on hashtag Teams James River. Like, you're learning the river. You've been primarily upper James River. You've came down here in the lower James, and you're starting to figure that out. You're starting to get some. You said bigger baits was one of your big things here for catching bigger fish in the lower James.
Yep.
Expand on that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think most people know, like Stan said, I grew up fishing the upper James River, which is pretty similar to like the Schuylkill River that Ed Evans and Jeff fish. It's very shallow, predominantly, the size of the fish is a little smaller, but you got more flatheads per capita. So that's kind of what I grew up doing, but yeah, so fishing the lower James is a completely different experience, mainly because it's tidal. That's a whole new ball game. But no, what I was going to talk about we were talking about the reel seats, and another thing to add is the machining on an F.O.A rod. The reel seat is done very well. That's another reason why it doesn't back off very much at all. But because I've had some rods that the machining was just it just really wasn't up to par, and no matter how tight you're going to get, it was going to back off.
You have a little bit of experience with that, right? You're part of the trades out there, so you know a little bit about that.
Yep. Yeah. Been working with my hands my whole life, so but yeah, I don't know.
What's your favorite FOA product that you use so far, other than the rods, of course?
Other than the rod, okay. To be honest, I really, really like the 10-aught Get 'em hooks. Those hooks are awesome, and I don't know if this is still true, but I'm going to take a page out of Stan 2's book here and talk about myself. But I think I still have the biggest fish on the river sticker hooks. There we go. Okay. So. There we go. Yeah. So the river sticker hooks they're good too. They're really good. And then the beads. The beads, when Freddie sends you those beads, you get a whole mix of different sizes and silicone versus hard. And that's a really good thing to get from Freddie. The buzz rattles are awesome as well.
Oh,
they're a game changer, I think.
Absolutely.
I tried to give you I was telling you to just talk, but that's the buzz rattles. I've got to say,
thank you, David.
All, boom, boom, bam, David Smith, $10. Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Dustin,
David.
there you go. Like,
What?
oh,
Oh,
and there we
Rich.
go. Next time, and give Dustin a little more gas money for the next time. Dustin learned it. This is one thing I'm sure that every trip we're on from now on, Dustin's going to have the gas can. The extra gas can is going to be in the boat. I'm like, no, let's leave it in the truck. He's going to be like, no, we're bringing it with us.
yeah.
I'll strap it to the tow bar if I have to.
Yeah. And Big Wrench, $10. Thank you, Big Wrench. We can't wait. And Big Wrench was one of the first people out there, Dustin. He says to get you closer to full tank. When we started talking about CatCon, we are going to have. I want everybody think about your favorite CatCon moment. This Friday, we're not doing the Cat Chat at 8 p.m. Next Friday, the 29th.
Hold on.
29th,
Yes,
I think.
29th.
It is going to be a CatCon special. We may even have a special discount code. Who knows? We may even have that for that show. But it's going to be a CatCon special. I want everybody out there. I want you to come up on a panel with us. Tell your favorite, Big Wrench. I want you to come up. Dustin, I want everybody that's had a CatCon moment. Austin, you're going to have some. Hopefully you can get there this next year. Freddie, hopefully you can come up with us and just mention your favorite CatCon moment. Or if you're going to next year's CatCon, what you're looking forward to. What's the most thing you're looking forward to coming to CatCon next year? For me, it's been an amazing journey. Steve Douglas and Hervé, they've just been amazing. Like, they accepted me right away. And, this past year, I'm just a dude a couple years ago that's sitting on my couch. And, and now I go to tournaments on the James River and people know who I am. And I go to CatCon and people are like, I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate what you're saying. Like, it's just, for me, like, I didn't believe in social media. I didn't believe in the Facebook and YouTube, all that stuff like that. And for in a few years to go from a person that didn't go out of his house to now going to CatCon and people are saying, thank you for what you do. I'm like, what in the world is all this? Like, that's just, over my head. Like, that's just, unbelievable. But anyways, so that's what we're doing. Not this Friday. Tomorrow night is Jodi's challenge, the Trifecta Challenge. But next Friday, think about your favorite CatCon moments. We're going to have everybody come up. Anybody that wants to bring up a moment or what they're looking forward to, that's what we're doing. But anyways, I'm sorry. Woo! And Freddie, one of my favorite CatCon moment is Epic because, thanks to Dustin, I was able to walk over there and see Epic talk about the F.O.A rods like that. Like, I was actually right there when he actually experienced them for the first time. So that's one of my favorite.
Well, I think my favorite would have been watching him do his presentation like an hour later.
Yes.
With a coffee can reel on one of those F.O.A rods, sitting up on his little rod holder.
Yeah.
With his big rod.
Big Wrench should be out of town next week.
Well, hey, Big Wrench, the link will be out there. Anybody's welcome to come up for a minute or 10 minutes or whatever you want. So,
really quick, I wanted to say that I first, when I first looked at all the F.O.A gear and I got my hands on some, when I saw the buzz rattles at CatCon, I was like, what is that? I've never seen that before because I'd always used the Versa rattles. I'm like, and I looked at the buzz rattles, I was like, that is awesome. I want to get my hands on some of those. So I ordered some, and I also ordered the 10-aught Get 'em hooks. And the combination of those two products, for me, I started catching more fish. Those 10-aught hooks, the gap on those things are fantastic. I mean, I can fit my thumb in one of those hooks and still have space left. And I've got a big thumb. So
those Neanderthal hands.
The Neanderthal thumb, that's right.
That's a whole other story. We won't even try to get into that tonight.
And then I can't wait to use this float. I've been seeing. I saw this float on the website, and I can't wait. There you go. Look at that. There you go.
Well, hold on a second, Freddie. Bam. Do it again. Oh, we were both doing it. There you go. And Freddie's not a little guy either, so
No, and
there
there's
you
a
go.
Jumbo. So.
Look at that.
And we all know the Nina Ninja. Oh, and Dustin, I'm not trying to cut you off. This is something that I do not say anything unless I truly believe it. If I don't say anything unless I truly believe it'll help you out. I think, in my opinion, I've fished for 50 years. You got Skull Rush right there saying, now I got a boat. I'll need a couple F.O.A rods for suspending. In my opinion, F.O.A rods are amazing. However, I think the game changer with the F.O.A rods, for having your down rods, you need to have at least 2 F.O.A rods suspending every time you're out there on the river on a boat.
Agreed.
I think from the bank you need to use them, but however, suspending from a boat, I think this is the game changer. No other rods out there will do this. This is where the F.O.A rods, they're supposed to be youth and yak, but from a boat suspending, there is no other rod out there, period, that will do what the F.O.A rods do. I can guarantee you that 2 stands fishing, both myself and Stand 3, have caught, and even when I've been out with Dustin, I can guarantee you that we've caught fish 50 pounds and bigger because we had F.O.A rods. If we had other rods that were out there suspending and they were doing this kind of thing, your F.O.A rods don't do that. They do this. You have those 7'6" and the 8-foot rods. They're doing this kind of thing, and the fish are kind of that doesn't look natural. But you get an F.O.A rod and they're doing this. That fish is right there. It's up off the bottom. Bam. I can guarantee you that we've caught 50 and 60 pound fish that we would have never caught before unless we had the F.O.A rods suspending straight down. You're casting out, those suspending rods, those down rods, are getting all those fish in a river from where you cast out to up to the boat. They're coming up to the boat because that scent on those baits are coming up, and they're coming up to the boat. And I can guarantee you, if you have F.O.A rods suspended from your boat, I can guarantee you that you will catch more bigger fish with F.O.A rods suspended from your boat. And I that's not I guarantee it easily.
Well,
because what's happened to
So I know Freddie said, I know Freddie, you probably didn't plan on staying on this long, but thank you so much. He said he came up for a bit. It's only been over an hour and a half now. So, but look, we could talk F.O.A all night. I could talk with all y'all all night long. But I do have to get in bed to got work tomorrow. I know Freddie, you probably got to get some stuff done for tomorrow. So I'll say this again. Miss Chrissy, thank you for coming in. Thank you for the super chats. Appreciate that. Big Ranch David Smith. It's greatly appreciated. It will help with gas with the boat, so I don't run out of gas again.
Nina's gonna message me after this and say, "Oh, Freddie was crying for a half hour after the show with all the good stuff everybody was saying." But I'm just saying.
Look, everybody talks about F.O.A stuff, and Freddie, that's all they talk about is good stuff. So he should be used to it by now.
Yeah.
Big Grinch says, "What is work? That's the thing I got to do at 8:30 in the morning."
Yeah.
You need to get some sleep.
You're lucky, right. Dustin.
Well, thank you, Stan. But no, honestly, thank you all so much for being in chat. Thank you all so much for coming on panel. We really, really, really appreciate it. We couldn't do this without you. And I hope everybody goes to watch Jodi's tomorrow night. Like I said, hopefully I'll be fishing. If not, I'll be hosting from the house. Uncle Stan is what is your favorite F.O.A product? I forgot to ask that real quick, Stan, real quick.
All of them. The rods, the super sliders, the get 'em hooks. This weekend I'm going to show how that Freddie Bob, or what did Stan 3 wants to call them, the Freddie float, but you call them the bubblers or whatever. I'm going to show this Saturday how even during a cyclone, we're gonna catch more fish on that than anybody else did during this whole couples challenge. That's what I'm gonna do with F.O.A. products this weekend. But I'm just saying. Much love to Halana out there. I am her favorite uncle. I'm just saying. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that, but yes, I love you, Halana.
Yes,
Sorry, go ahead.
JG said, "See, I told you Dustin to shut the party down when he gets sleepy."
Yeah.
Look, I need my beauty rest, as you can all tell.
What's up, Greg?
So again, thank y'all, Freddie. Freddie, thank you so much for coming on. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your products with all of us. Thank you for spending some time with us and talking about all your stuff on your website. Remember, please go check out FOAcustomsandgear.com. I don't care whose code you use, TSW10,
Yes.
2 stands 10, Fever 10, BBC 10.
Just not
stop there.
FTW10 or Hammock.
I'll stop. You said I'll stop there.
Those two.
But no, please go check out the website. I know you're gonna find something you like. I know I like and enjoy everything. I use all these products, F.O.A. products. But thank you again. Thank you everybody for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night. If not, we'll see you next week, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you all so much.
Deuces.
Night, everybody.